Hello and welcome to our Splunk webinar. My name is Jeff and I'd like to introduce you to Ravi from Transport for New South Wales, who's going to take us through their Splunk journey and how they keep the trains running.
Hello everyone, good day. My name is Ravi Teja. I have been working with Transport for NSW for around 3 years now. I have been using Splunk around 5 to 6 years, I believe. I have gone through various certifications like Architect, ES Admin, ITSI Admin, Sales Rep 1 and 2. I'm currently the Splunk Architect at Transport, working for Splunk COE at Transport, performing various Splunk operations and expanding Splunk footprint across the Transport cluster. In today's webinar, I talk about the Splunk journey at Transport. So here is the agenda. I shall tell you on how Splunk is helping Transport in monitoring several critical applications across the cluster and helping us in keeping the trains running. I shall then take you through how we are using Splunk for Security Operations Center and Network Operations Center, or we call it as Ops Bridge. I shall then share my experience on how we built Splunk COE at Transport and various offerings that we offer to different agencies across the board. I shall then demo Splunk mobile app and other connected experiences that we use at Transport. Here it is, the Splunk footprint at Transport. Sometimes we really feel proud to say that we use almost all products of Splunk. We have Splunk Enterprise, an on-prem instance used for application monitoring and web analytics. We also have Splunk Cloud, where we hosted our SOC and the NOC. Then ITSI, where we get service health scores with deep dives into the KPIs and entities, along with predictive monitoring and finding anomalies. We have Splunk ES as a SIM capability where we use it for threat intelligence and hunting and providing a security posture to our cyber intelligence team. We also have Splunk Phantom for security orchestration and VectorOps for alerting. We are now performing a POC with Splunk Business Flow and Data Stream Processing, while we have Splunk App for Infrastructure complementing ITSI in monitoring hybrid cloud environments along with VMware apps. Almost, we have used several products of Splunk, and it's still growing. This is our Transport for NSW Splunk COE roadmap. I believe we have started Splunk COE a couple of years ago. We started Splunk as a log analytics tool with low maturity and collaboration, almost acting as silos within the organization at various agencies and groups. During our early days, we had several small Splunk instances with different agencies and groups. We started by migrating all of them into one single enterprise Splunk instance. Then we started offering Splunk as a service to the agencies like Sydney Trains, Roads and Maritime Services, and groups like Security Operations and IT Operations teams across Transport cluster. We are now here at the end of second year, where we consider Splunk as an enterprise monitoring platform and maturing ourselves in event correlations and orchestrations. Our roadmap for end of next financial year is to improve maturity and collaboration by onboarding all agencies within Transport and improving performance with efficiency and optimization. Splunk is helping us in monitoring several critical applications that are responsible for keeping our trains running. Sydney Trains is the operator of rail services across the metropolitan Sydney area. With the help of Splunk IT Service Intelligence and Splunk App for Infrastructure, and Splunk itself, we get visibility into the health of critical applications and business services along with their infrastructure. We also use Splunk to solve a variety of IT challenges, including deriving a service level insights and analysis on events, metrics, and logs to find and fix the most important issues. Our service analyzers provide a tree view into our services with respective health scores to easily identify the area of the issue, whether it is any of the shared services across the organization like infrastructure or network or the application DB or web layers causing the problem. We use Splunk-based predictive algorithms to proactively monitor and alert the teams even before the incident could occur. Take an example from an infrastructure service running CPU at a higher rate with web requests pumping up to the rate of increase in application errors. These service decompositions and mapping help us monitor the critical services that are responsible for our trains and other services running. As I said earlier, we predict and prevent with our unified monitoring experience. These are our sample glass tables, which are used to identify the KPIs and health scores of the services and stitching them back to the service providers. We have an oversight on SLAs, compliance, incidents, and security issues. By this way, we can easily find the SLAs of the KPIs of the service providers. We also get the deep dives into the transactional errors and providing us an insights into lane-based visualizations for comparing by examining detailed information about one or more KPIs aligned by time. For example, one of our application health score turned into a high alert. We can then drill down to see how many components plotted in parallel by time. Maybe a DB layer and a web layer has high alerts while others are unaffected. We can then quickly get onto the affected areas for further analysis and action. Also, in any anomalous scenario like an outage, we can use Splunk deep dive capabilities, either predict or prevent the outage or compare and examine by nailing down to the root cause of the issue within no time. So far, I have told you on how Splunk is helping us in monitoring several critical applications across the cluster and helping us in deep diving into the issues and predict and proactively monitor some of the issues and also helping us in keeping our services healthy and running. I shall now take you through on how we use Splunk for our Security Operations Center and Network Operations Center, which is also called as an Ops Bridge. Security Operations Center. We have a SaaS offering from Splunk as Splunk Cloud. We have Enterprise Security, a premium Splunk product, which enabled our security teams to improve security operations with faster response times and also provide us with a security posture with areas of improvement by getting an end-to-end visibility across security data, threats, vulnerabilities, and malware. This is also helping us in quickly detecting and responding to internal and external attacks. We are getting an organizational level wide visibility and security intel for our security operations and governance teams. We are using several correlation searches to detect malicious activities and anomalies. We also have Splunk Phantom. We got Splunk Phantom for the past 6 to 8 months, I believe, where we are actually orchestrating, automating, and responding to the security incidents We are currently automating some of the repetitive tasks and investigations so that we can reduce time to resolve and act. Phantom on mobile is another connected experiences from Splunk that we are exploring on. Let me now talk about our Network Operations Center, which is also called as Ops Bridge. Sometimes we also call that as a command center. As I said earlier, we have a SaaS offering from Splunk where we hosted several application level monitoring with custom dashboards and alerts on the Splunk cloud. We have ITSI as a separate search head cluster, another SaaS offering just like enterprise security for SOC from Splunk. We started using ITSI for service health scores and deep diving into the respective KPIs or say applications, network or infrastructure, or you call it as web or DB layer issues with custom dashboards on the other search head cluster within the Splunk cloud. We have VMware app for Splunk and Splunk app for infrastructure to monitor infrastructure, both the instances that are on the virtual machines and hybrid cloud, including AWS and Azure. We also use VictorOps for better alerting and using rosters to alert the support teams based on their schedules. We have also set up escalation metrics in order to provide highest level visibility in case of the escalation if required. Splunk ITSI plus VictorOps provide a great features with Splunk for Ops Bridge to quickly identify the issues or anomalies and alert the respective teams automatically. We use Two Steps, which is a third-party tool, which is also based on Splunk for synthetic monitoring of our public-facing or say internal websites at regular intervals. This tool is from Two Steps. The beauty of this product is that it records a video of all the steps involved in the synthetic monitoring and records the response times for each of these steps and makes it available for replay of the video at any time later within the Splunk dashboards. And again, this is integrated with VictorOps to alert the teams if you find any timeouts or any web errors for each of the response times based on the synthetic monitoring checks that are involved within Two Steps. Again, all these feeds back into ITSI to provide a high-level service visibility I was discussing earlier, and for the predictive analysis where we predict the degradation of a service based on various inbuilt algorithms within ITSI and alert the respective teams wherever it is possible through VictorOps. And this is the responsibility of our Ops Bridge, where we have several glass tables built in and service level views of ITSI available for them to understand and predict using the predictive analysis within the ITSI. In short, we have same indexer cluster within Splunk Cloud, which has access to enterprise security for security operations center related activities, and ITSI as a separate search head cluster again for all the network operations center or say the Ops Bridge related activities. And we have a separate core search head cluster where we have some custom dashboards built in accessing the same data from the same indexes. This gives a unified view and the way that we use the product from end to end. Let me now go through some of our use cases where we use Splunk extensively end to end. We use Splunk across several agencies. Some of the agencies are City Trains, RMS, which is also called Roads and Maritime Services, Transport as a cluster, and Transport Management Center. Let me go through the use cases within the Sydney Trains. There are several applications hosted on-premise at cloud DCs and on Splunk, on hybrid cloud environments like AWS and Azure, or say the Citrix clients, which support the services like trains rostering, trains maintenance and services like the trackability and maintenance tracking, along with operations technology, with power transmissions, real-time train availability data, and freight services. These applications use Splunk to get a service level visibility with various KPIs built into the deep dives into the issues across the applications, along with other shared services. Let me talk through on the RMS now, roads and maritime services, where these use another set of several applications that support drives and buses rostering or buses maintenance with timetable and ferries. Most of these applications are onboarded to Splunk to provide the end-to-end monitoring, while we are working very closely with the agency to onboard all the other applications as our continuous engagement to provide that end-to-end visibility across the cluster. We have Splunk COE within the transport cluster and the SOC and the NOC. We have some shared services like packaged applications and bespoke applications, where we have Office 365, Salesforce, or ServiceNow, Jira and Confluence, and some of the integration layers like TIBCO, API Gateway, IDM, the identity management. All these are monitored within Splunk with the help of various add-ons that are available, readily available on the Splunk base. These are used just like a plug and play. I shall go through some of the list of these add-ons in the next upcoming slides. All these have integrations readily available with Splunk with minimum configurations and efforts that are required from our Splunk team. Some of them we use UFs or say the HFs agents installed on the machines, some of the bespoke apps or the custom apps. But most of the packaged apps, we have Splunk-based TAs, which are add-ons. These help in providing out-of-box apps readily available for monitoring all these packaged applications. Especially, we are loving the way how we get the insights into all the Microsoft cloud-based services, whether you take the Office 365, Teams, we get that security view for the Security Operations Center, while we get the related application-specific view for all our operations bridge. There are some other applications which use for Opel cards or say the concessions cards, which may be for the students or the senior citizens. Digital technology, transport.info, which is another public-facing website. TripView Planner, other public-facing websites with geospatial and Google Analytics. All these have some or the other way integration with Splunk in order to pump in their respective application data into Splunk and get that end-to-end visibility of the cluster. The other agencies are Transport Management Center. We are currently working with Transport Management Center on onboarding their apps to provide the high-level visibility across the cluster, which includes, like, say, the traffic signals, speed cameras, and buses priorities. So all these were some time ago, as I said in my previous discussion. We have got silos, the Splunk separate instance. This is one of the agency where there is a separate Splunk instance, which we are now trying to collaborate that into our end-to-end monitoring with the enterprise level instance. Splunk-based apps and add-ons. There are several Splunk-based apps and add-ons readily available as a plugins, just to plug and play on the Splunk base for various applications, the packaged applications that are available on the market, and also some of the packaged applications that are used as a SaaS offering. We use several of these apps and add-ons in order to integrate with the applications that support transport as a cluster and monitor them from Splunk. Some of the various apps and add-ons that we use are listed down here. These actually provide us the out-of-box dashboards and the data extractions automatically with just a minimum configurations required on to plug and play. There are some of the add-ons used within the Security Operations Center, while others are used on the Operations Bridge. We have, as I said earlier, we have the Microsoft Cloud Services add-on, which provide insights into Active Directory, Office 365, SharePoint. You take the Teams and gives visibility across the application with OpsBridge and also on the security level for the Security Operations Center. We have native AWS and Azure add-ons plugged onto Splunk in order to monitor our Azure and AWS instances, while other apps and add-ons are used to provide the end-to-end visibility of the application and the cluster as such. The other service management tools, like say ServiceNow and Remedy, are also plugged into Splunk, both viewing the data from these instances onto Splunk, on the other way around, plugging into incidents and other stuff into the service management tools based on the alerts. We also have other monitoring tools like App Dynamics, Dynatrace, New Relic for as the application performance monitoring and end user monitoring, plug all the data back into Splunk in order to provide that end-to-end visibility. We also have some of the network monitoring tools like ExtraHop. Again, plug all the data into Splunk and provide the end-to-end visibility. There are several other minor monitoring tools which either replaced by Splunk or are complementing Splunk in one or the other way in having that service level view across the cluster. It's now time to talk about Center of Excellence, the Splunk COE within Transport, which we have built over the last few years. Transport Splunk COE, which is operating a best-in-class data platform. We provide best-in-class services as a cost-like item within the transport cluster across several agencies. Some of the best features that our COE possess are time to value with scheduled deployments weekly, shared costs on all the elements that build the platform flexibility to create own dashboards or reports and alerts that are possible. We also serve several apps and add-ons as an out-of-box feature, which can be used for plug and play, along with VictorOps for rostering and alerting. We have our Avocado team supporting our operations for the platform support as a platform support, who are our managed service providers for all the Splunk-related operations across the board. They also provide some of the professional services wherever required in engaging into the projects to help the agencies in build their own dashboards and apps. Other than this, we have governance in place both on data, Splunk operations, and platform support. Let me now talk through some of the services that we provide from Splunk COE. Our first service is licensed as a service. We have all agencies or teams use our Splunk instance at the enterprise level as a multi-tenant. The enterprise level instance that we currently hold is multi-tenant, used by different agencies and teams. We have the license pooling and Splunk workload management in place to support this feature within Splunk. The license costs are shared across the different users based on the proportion of their usage and footprint they have. There is always a level of flexibility to scale up and down as per the agency needs and pay as an annual cost on what they consume. At the end of the day, they just pay on their level of usage. We also have license as a service in order to help agencies to have their own development instances, whether it can be on-prem or on Splunk Cloud, in order to perform their dashboards, apps, and reports or alerts. They can build it on their own and push them back onto the enterprise instance upon the checks. The license that is involved for the development instance, again, will be created as part of the license pool and the enterprise license that we have. The other service that we provide as part of Transport Splunk COE is Platform as a Service. We have a dedicated platform support team as part of Splunk Ops, available 24/7 through ITSM requests and incidents. We also have support from Splunk itself for their SaaS offerings that they provide to Transport as a cluster. All these resourcing costs are again shared costs across the agencies according to the IT service delivery. These costs go as per annual costs to the clusters and to the agencies. We also provide professional services, which are engagement-based on the custom projects and strategic success plans, which involve business value assessments to scope and deliver more impactful business results. Any agencies can engage us as part of project engagements in order to help them build the dashboards, panels, reports, and alerts in Splunk in order to gain the value of Splunk. We perform several workshops as part of this and help them understand how Splunk can make a differentiator in providing all the monitoring across their applications within the agency. We also perform some regular business value assessments for the projects that are delivered and across the agencies in order to see how Splunk is making a value within the agency and help them understand how best they can use the Splunk. We also have a IT service delivery followed across the operations and all the ITS with the ITS standards. This will help all the agencies in order to have the governance in place with the respective level of access, so that there is no data visibility or the dashboards visibility across the agencies. They can have their own restrictive level agency level access to the respective teams within the data they process and the dashboards that they have. This helps us in having agency level use cases built, deliver, and maintain as per their needs. We also do regular patching, whether it's from the Splunk itself on the Splunk Cloud or any of the on-prem instances. We do help them in having these regular patching done at our own ops team responsibility. The other service we have is infrastructure as a service. We'll do all the heavy lifting required. No infrastructure, no problem. We cover the infrastructure that is required for Splunk, whether it can be the heavy forwarders or any other agents level infrastructure that's required for onboarding the applications. All this is covered as part of the support from the Splunk COE. The infrastructure costs, again, are stitched back onto the chargeback for annual, as part of annual costs across the agencies. Again, all this will be part of the shared costs, whether it can be a license, support, or infrastructure, stitched into the annual costs per agency as part of the monitoring. We also do biannual review of infrastructure and forecast, making some capacity planning and adjustments that are required. And some of the insights we do take is from ITSI on predicting the health scores of the infrastructure level KPIs. Again, all these are stitched back and used as a service across the cluster for all the tenants within the Splunk. So far, I have discussed on how we have built COE within the transport. As I said earlier, Avocado Consulting are our managed service providers providing the entire platform support 24/7 and in providing professional services in delivering various quality projects across the cluster, including Splunk, ITSI, ES, Core, and VictorOps. Now let me talk on how Splunk connected experiences are helping transport. One of the best connected experiences from Splunk that we use at Transport is Splunk Mobile. Whether it is iOS or Android, we also have it on the Apple Watch. Apple TV is what we are trying as a POC, but very soon we will get there. All the service level dashboards and critical application level information that are required are monitored through Splunk Mobile across different teams within Transport. Whether it can be the service health scores or alerts based on their issues and triggers, and the saved searches that we have is being viewed on the Splunk Mobile app. We also use it for Phantom along with Splunk ES in order to perform some of the orchestrations that are possible through Splunk Mobile. Whether it is enterprise security for security operations or ITSI for IT operations, all the respective level dashboards are used on Splunk Mobile. I will go through a quick demo in the next few minutes, but before that, let me talk to you on how we are actually managing different instances, as I said earlier, different search heads that we have within the Splunk Cloud, and how we are actually managing them across the agencies and the level of access that we are providing on these dashboards. There are several operational dashboards that are available for operations teams and executive level views, as well as end-to-end drill downs on the mobile app. Despite of having several restrictions within mobile app on visualizations, we still have a great value from it, as we can monitor the critical services on the go without logging into our systems. We have multi-instance, which are search heads like, say, ES, Enterprise Security, IT Service Intelligence, Core Splunk search heads are separate multi-tenants within the mobile app where we can toggle around or switch around as we need. We also found a way to restrict the agency level access on their respective views within the dashboards and the data on the mobile app. This is helping us in order to provide individual level access and individual level dashboards and visualizations that are possible on the mobile app for different agencies and teams. We are privileged to work with Core Splunk mobile app developers by engaging directly with Marvin Green, who is the Principal Product Manager of Splunk Mobile Division at Splunk. Earlier, we were using NLP, which is a great product within Splunk, extensively to talk to phone, like asking Siri or Google to provide service health scores for our apps. Unfortunately, this feature was retired last month while we are eagerly waiting for a replacement soon. We have plans and roadmap to improve the customer experience through mobile as part of our Splunk COE within Transport. Now, let's see a quick demo on some of the apps that we have on Splunk Mobile. At Transport, we use Splunk Mobile app extensively across the cluster to provide end-to-end service view for the executives at various agencies and the respective application owners. This is one of the best connected experiences from Splunk that's benefiting us in providing insights into our services on the go from a mobile. We also use it for alerts. We get insights into infrastructure, network, application errors, database errors, whatnot, everything from a mobile where we no need to log in to our machines or servers to investigate. We are also planning to use Phantom on mobile to orchestrate some of our security incidents. So in short,
With the actionable alerts and mobile-friendly dashboards through our Splunk mobile app, our users are able to directly respond to the alerts from their mobile devices and look at the dashboards in detail on the optimized mobile screen. This is helping them in a lot of ways.
As I said earlier, we used Splunk NLP in order to talk to our data and know the service health scores or the application status. NLP is a natural language platform where you can talk to Siri or Google to check on the Splunk mobile app to see whether your services are running healthy. Some of the sample dashboard panels that I have placed there let you know on how do I ask Siri to say the Sydney Trains critical applications status, and immediately it starts replying saying the Sydney Trains critical application status are here. Unfortunately, as I said earlier, this was retired last month or so, but yeah, it is always the testing the bleeding edge, so we are looking forward in order to see the replacement pretty soon. VictorOps plus mobile deliver a great value into the alerts by having the right alerts to the right people, reducing the time to acknowledge and resolve the incidents wherever it's possible. The VoIP feature within VictorOps is really helping our teams currently in getting the alerts at the right time and helping the teams to immediately look into the issues wherever possible on the mobile rather than logging into the systems. It has got a chat-ops option where you can experience completely in order to talk to your respective operations teams where an incident can be analyzed along with your teammates on the VictorOps and the Splunk together put on your mobile. This also have got a great feature with integrating with some of the service management tools like say Remedy and ServiceNow, which will help us in finally after the analysis from the operations team can log back ticket into the service management tools respectively. This is ideally empowering teams by routing alerts to the right people for the faster collaboration and issue resolution. We can engage people where they work as a mobile-first experiences, leveraging actually the machine learning to make on-call accessible wherever we are. As we say, there are actually a lot of ways in order to check onto your alerting features, whether you use on the Splunk mobile app or say the VictorOps. You have got that automation into the incident management by reducing the alert fatigue and also increasing the uptime. The on-call scheduling is pretty simple. You can use VictorOps to streamline your on-call schedules and have the respective escalation policies so that for any rotations or say to have the overrides, we have that automated through the VictorOps in order to get that escalation level set up there to see if in case the operation, the person in support is not responding to a particular alert, that gets after a repeated few misses, that gets escalated to the respective app owner in order to get that alerted and have that incident acknowledged quickly. Actually, this software provides a contextual alert information that's say the suggestions driven from machine learning and empowers collaboration to solve the problems with speed and efficiency, all while capturing essential remediation data. A real-time visibility that helps the application delivery with the native iOS and Android apps. You can receive the metadata-rich notifications directly from the device, whether it can be from Splunk or you may have few other apps that sends the alerts directly onto the VictorOps. I'm sorry. You can act, resolve, reroute and even snooze the alert, all right within the app. The other connected experience is Splunk and Splunk Phantom and mobile. Splunk Phantom security is more about orchestration, automation, and the response. With Splunk Phantom, we can execute actions in, I would say, maybe in seconds or minutes, not in hours, definitely. There are always smarter ways that we can work with mobile app and Phantom together, having Splunk on it. The good option is the app comes with Splunk and Phantom together on one single app. You can automate the repetitive tasks, multiply the team's efforts, and better focus on the attention on the mission-critical decisions than spending a lot of long hours onto investigations. We can respond pretty faster. It actually helps all of the cyber intel team in order to get onto the issue right away than waiting and responding. Again, all these connected experiences app on the Splunk mobile is helping our security operations teams, network operations teams, and also the individual application teams in order to get insights into the data, not just by having the insights, but getting alerts and also responding back to those alerts within minutes or seconds, wherever it's possible, and action them at the earliest possible. The flexibility that these apps are providing is supporting a lot of tools and APIs, enabling us to connect and coordinate complex workflows across our teams and the tools. This powerful extraction is also allowing us to focus on what we need to accomplish while the platform translates that into tool-specific actions. Let's talk about the other experience, which is the Splunk Dashboards app, which is currently a beta version. Sorry, I just forgot to say, the Phantom and Splunk mobile app together, if you all are interested, just look at Socktails on YouTube. There are some funny videos made by Splunk. You can see how actually Phantom and Splunk mobile app together help your security teams in order to orchestrate everything and fix them maybe in a couple of minutes, not more than that, through your mobile app. Coming back to these dashboards app, this is completely a new way of creating dashboards and visualizations. You don't need to stick to some of the frameworks or say some of the dashboard panels at that particular areas, but you have all the flexibility to create the icons, shapes, or customizing or visualizations wherever it's possible, as I've shown some of the examples on this slide. You can put all these customized icons or visualizations and the background itself on your screen wherever it's possible. And especially when you have some of the operations team using Splunk mobile app, Splunk mobile basically, sorry, I'm not talking about Splunk mobile, Splunk dashboards on the screens, it's more important for them to have few more additional stuff like say some of the videos or maybe an RL match or any of the match sports games at the same time by visualizing the dashboards and monitoring them all through the time. So you can have those videos inbuilt into the dashboard and while the video can play at one part, while the dashboards and visualizations still show, and these can be monitored at the same time. Actually, this helps give a pixel-perfect control on the dashboard components and makes creating dashboards both simple and fun. Because we tried some of the dashboards in order to make it easy, understandable by the support team. Mostly the interactivity through the drill downs and tokens, it's even simpler compared to others. But still, I would say this is still in the beta version, so we need to wait for actual version to be released by Splunk soon. And all through, again, these are simple XML features that are not currently available in new framework. But yeah, since it's a beta app, we need to understand that. But however, such features will become available, I believe so, in the future updates. But I could definitely say that it's a new, powerful way of building dashboards with the data that we have. It would be good if Splunk can get some of these dashboards that we build on the data visible on the mobile app and compatible all these visualizations back on the mobile, which will help us in having the end-to-end connected experiences for you. With the interest of time, so that I can take a few questions, I would quickly go through the slides. So this is Splunk Data Stream Processor. We are currently doing a POC on Splunk Data Stream Processor and Splunk Business Flow. So these are still in the POC mode for us to comment on it. But still, what I could say is the actual use case that we're using DSP for is to improve the compliance, especially on the data privacy and the data that we, and have more governance on the data that we push onto the Splunk indexes well before even it's being actually indexed. This actually continuously collect any high velocity or high volume of data from different sources. It can be diversified sources, and distribute the insights to multi destinations, because we also want to push some of our data back onto some of the other tools which are used within transport in order to have that diversified multi-destinations. We are planning to use DSP, but still, as I said, it's still in the POC mode, both Business Flow and DSP together. Chargebacker. So this is one of my apps that I have built, and it's currently on the Splunk base. You can just check the number 4709. I have made this in order to help different organizations who have multiple teams using Splunk and sharing the license and infrastructure along with the resources. So this can easily give you a chargeback costs per annum or say per month that are required for various proportions of the usage from the different teams. Though this is just version 1, while I'm getting up with some of the new features on the other versions in the next upcoming months, where you can also identify the complexity of the dashboards and the support model with which you can have your chargebacker decide what charges has to be put onto individual teams as part of your annual cost or say monthly cost for the platform support. This includes support costs, which is the resource costs, basically, who are supporting it, who's supporting the platform, along with the license costs and the software cost itself and the infrastructure that's supporting this particular platform. So you can have overall costs tiering with the teams and the number of dashboards they have and the complexity of the dashboards, along with the license volumes auto-picked from the monthly license consumption. So all these can provide you insights into the chargeback that you need to put onto each of these teams. Thank you all for attending this webinar. Hope you found the webinar informative and worthwhile. Hope I made it through. I thank Splunk for providing me this opportunity and wish to see some questions from you and happy to answer them. So if you want to ask a question, please type in your question in the Q&A section so that I can respond back on those questions either during this question answer session or maybe later after the webinar in the next few days.
So you can start typing your questions now. Here we go. First question. How multi-tenancy is helping in the Splunk mobile app? Yeah, thanks for asking this question. Yes, we can have multi-tenancy if you have different searches or maybe, as I said, different products like ES, PANCAM, or the ITSI or any of the other searches that you want to view, or multi instances. Maybe in some cases, some organizations have multi instances. While we are using it for different searches, you always add as many number of searches you want. I'm not sure how many is the count, but definitely you can add at least 5, which we are using now. So you can toggle through the instances to see the respective alerts and dashboards wherever possible. But it is definitely possible and a good feature within Splunk Mobile, where you can toggle around the instances and find your respective dashboards and alerts. Other question, does this feature available on Android? Yes, of course. This feature is also available on Android in the newer versions. I believe so. It should be. You can, yes, it is. You can toggle around the instances even on the Android. Okay. Another question. Since you have multiple agencies using Splunk, how enterprise security is used? Is this a multi-tenant? Pretty good question. I believe enterprise security is not multi-tenant. We can't use enterprise security for multi-tenancy. But as I said, in transport, we use enterprise security for cyber intelligence team, and maybe some of the alerts or say the security posture updates are shared onto the other searches depending on each of the agency level views. That's again the custom core Splunk search cluster that we have, where we have the custom dashboards built in for agency specific, whether it is security or the ops. So there you can have all these visualized. Again, we use different apps again there to view the security postures and security related information for agency level, which is the Security Essentials. Splunk Security Essentials app is one of the apps where you can actually find all the details agency level. The question, how about ITSI? Yeah, I mean, IT service intelligence, you definitely can create your own teams based on the team structure you have. In our case, yes, we have agency level teams built, and within your agency also there are some other teams where they don't want to share their own views to other teams within the agency. We have those teams built, and the access is restricted on the services, on the respective services and KPIs and the entities. But definitely you can't restrict the data, because data is still visible to across the teams within ITSI. But what all that you can do is restrict the view level access, whether it's a service analyzer or deep dives, or say the custom deep dives or any other things that you build within the IT service intelligence. You can definitely build a team and split them across and restrict them across the access. Okay, maybe another question. How chargeback works for support level on the dashboards if they are shared? Again, good question. So definitely the chargeback app that I have built is considering some of the basic support model. Maybe, yes, there are few out-of-box apps and add-ons that are used by different teams. So those things, the complexity is shared across the teams, so that the amount of maintenance work required for those is spread across different teams and shared across different teams rather than to one single team. Okay, another question. How did NLP go through in transport and why it is retired. Okay, natural language processing again. Yes, it was very good, and we were even having a big roadmap in order to integrate that with Google Home and Siri and talk through and make more decisions. Like say, if an incident pops up, an alert comes through, you can ask Siri if there are any alerts. If Siri says back, yes, there is an alert, you can ask back Siri to log a ticket back onto your remedy system while it uses Splunk service management system, where it uses Splunk again back to log the ticket back on the service management tools, whether it is Remedy or ServiceNow or any other service management tools that you have integration with. Unfortunately, yes, the call was made by Splunk to retire this feature last month, and we are still waiting for the team to come up with any replacements that's possible. Yeah, for any other questions you have, you can type in there, and I'll try to respond as and when possible. Once again, thank you all for attending this webinar. It was a great privilege for me to take this and with the help of Splunk, and I thank Splunk for giving me this opportunity.